After defeating Kaido, one of the 4 emperors, Komurasaki and others went in capital. Her appearance alone left civilians shocked as they had already held a funeral for her. When they saw Akazaya 9 as well, the whole town was filled with questions. The news spread all around the Wano country and everyone was astonished. When Yamato met with Luffy's crew, she told them she would be joining the crew. But there is one man standing amongst the fog. All Akazaya was bowing down before him. He said he was glad to see citizens surviving those 20 years of difficulties. He said he will allow everyone to do whatever business they want. There will no longer be slaves in Wano, and no one needs to pay for the water. He declared the end of the hellish era of Orochi and Kaido. He said he would follow in his father's footsteps and promised that he would turn Wano into a paradise. He is no one other than kozukimomonosuke, the son of Kozuki Oden. Momonosuke had finally attained the rightful position of Shogun and the unanimous support from the citizens of Wano. The birth of Nika and defeats of 2 emperors were a chaos for the world government. The 5 elders knew that they could not cover up the information. When Zenesha disappeared into the mist, they realized that they would not be able to occupy Wano with their force as the country's borders remained the same. 7 days have passed and the capital is still holding festivals. Children got re-education and citizens were joyful. Meanwhile, Kinemon, Kawamatsu and Marco went to the eternal grave of Ringo to build a temple in memorial of those who passed away. Luffy and Zoro had also awakened and started devouring all the meat and booze. They were shocked when they saw the adult Momonosuke. Little did they know that Momonosuke was still a kid on the inside. They took a bath together and then, Lord Momonosuke held a feast in the entire country. Usopp, Frankie, Law, Kid and others were at the Tokage port preparing for their departure. But there was also someone heading towards Wano. It is one of the admirals also known as the Green Bull, Ryokugyu. Still, the 5 elders try to hide the news as much as they can, but it was already too late, and they could not get in touch with the printing factory. The news about Kaido and Big Mom spread all around the world. Monkey D. Luffy, Eustace, Captain, Kid and Trafalgar Law were placed a shocking bounty of 3 billion berries each. In the meantime, StrawHats were having a party in the flower capital. Foods were flying in the air and the town was filled with laughters and joys. Robin met Mr. Tengyama beneath the castle. He revealed that he was the former shogun of Wano, Kozuki Sukiyaki. He was actually imprisoned there for several years, but everything changed by the time he escaped from that room. He was filled with great shame believing that he had failed the people of Wano. He also told her that the ancient weapon, Pluton, lay somewhere in the country. At the same time, Udon was raided by a single man, Ryokugyu. Both king and queen are now in the hands of Navy. The sky of the beautiful capital was filled with fireworks. Then, Eustace arrived and told Luffy about his new title. Luffy had been replaced as the new Emperor of the Sea along with Buggy. Denjiro and other Akazaya went to defend the capital from Ryokugyu. Unfortunately, they were no match to him. He has the power of Wood's fruit, Logia-type devil fruit, and can turn himself into a force of nature. Yamato and Momonosuke had also arrived and attacked him. Momonosuke tried to use the blast breath but miserably failed. So, he just tried to bite Ryokugyu's mouth and ended up being caught. Still, he told Yamato not to attack him for some reason. At the sea near Wano was red-haired pirates. Shanks was smiling while looking at Luffy's new bounty poster. He recalled memories they shared together, and was proud of Luffy for how far he had come. Then, he told Beckman that it was time for them to claim the One Piece. The fight continued and Raizo attacked Ryokugyu with fire jutsu. However, it was not enough to actually harm one of the strongest admirals. Then, he proceeded to suck the moisture out of Raizo and others. Meanwhile, Law found Robin and they both followed where Sukiyaki led. After walking down the stairs for some time, they saw the old Wano of about 800 years ago. There was once a Wano with enormous Fuji mountain. However, massive walls grew around the island at some point. People had to abandon their towns and create new land on the side of mountain when the rainwater eventually caused the floods. As they kept going downstairs and reached the foot of mountain, they found the third road poneglyph. Sukiyaki said that the ancient weapon Pluton lay further down into the earth, and the only way to retrieve it was to break the walls of Wano. The reason why Momonosuke asked Yamato not to attack Ryokugyu is because he don't want to rely on other people anymore. He said he would not also ask for the help of Luffy, as he would be the one who would stay behind in the country. In the blink of an eye, Ryokugyu was blown by the blast breath. Right before he went on the rampage, he was overwhelmed by the Supreme King Haki of Shanks from miles away. Shanks told him not to mess with those who were still recovering from the Great War, and Ryokugyu was finally forced to leave Wano. Straw Hats were impressed by Momonosuke, and Luffy knew that Momonosuke would be able to carry the legacy of his father. Wano country is now in the safe hand. This is the end of Wano Saga, but it is also the beginning of the story of a man who will later be known around the world as the great Shogun of Wano, Kozukimomonosuke.